Welcome back to the Kitten program. It is August. We are busy with a new theme called Taming the Tongue. Last month we focused on voices, and this led us to speaking about the tongue and about the danger and what the implications is of not taming the tongue. But today we're focusing on the difficulty on taming the tongue. Stay tuned.
James 3 verse 5. Likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boast. Consider what a great forest is set on fire by a small spark.
When we go to the doctor asks us to stick out our tongue, and this will determine, or this is how they will determine what the health of our bodies is. They can determine certain things. The same with our tongue. The way we speak and what we say, it will determine or show people what the condition of our hearts is. They compare in the book of James. James compare this the tongue with to a boat, where this big boat is controlled by the small. They call it a rudder, steering wheel that controls the whole boat. It also led a small piece of how it can destroy a forest. The same with the tongue. We need to be aware that how powerful the tongue is, or what we say, will determine what goes on in our hearts. We will never completely master this, but as our hope is that we will grow in our relationship. This shows us how powerful the tongue is. We just need to be careful or aware on what we say. We won't be perfect at it, but we can at least be aware on what we say. We don't have to be miserable and know that we won't get this right, but we have the ability to think of it and know, and confessing of it. It's an hourly thing, it's a daily thing that we need to be aware of, and the way that we can grow to it. Taming the tongue is the knowledge on how to use, when to say what and how to say it. Usually, sometimes, most of us, we don't mean what we say. The words that we use do so much harm, and we don't actually mean this. But what we can do is by grow. We can be aware that this is something that we struggle with. James warns us that not everybody should become teachers, because teachers will be held more accountable on what they say. This is teaching in schools. This can be in any leadership position, because leadership, when you're in a leadership position, you have so much power, and if you're not aware that the power of the tongue can sometimes manipulate people or confuse people, but to actually use it not to the benefit of yourself, but the benefit of the kingdom. This should need to help us, and not to drive our own agendas. Sometimes in leadership, we use our tongues in words that we use in manipulating or use things in going our way. But James is teaching us that we will be held more accountable, that we need to be more careful on what we say, because it's our responsibility to teach the right things, and not just to do it in order to gain. But this is not just for leaders or teachers. This is for all Christians. We can grow in becoming better at it. I know that sometimes we need to have someone who can correct you, someone who will tell you that you are using things for your own benefit, that you need to be careful on what you say, and not just to do it in the benefit of yourself. Maturity and how to tame the tongue is a result on what is the condition of your spiritual life. The mastering or the condition of your the way you're taming your tongue, or how you use your tongue, is an exact result on where your relationship is with God. If you want to know if they have a relationship with God, just listen to what do they say, how do they say it, and you will get a exact index on what's going on in their hearts. We have a challenge. We We have a battle every day on because we speak and we use words. The tongue is so dangerous. We can hurt people, we can destroy relationships, we can destroy things that was built in many years. But just because of one thing that we say, because of our selfish motives, this can destroy years of relationships. This can cause fires. This can hurt people. But we need to, every day, we need to try to master this challenge, this battle. We can do it by doing it prayerfully, asking God to give us wisdom, to give us the words on how to say things, to make us aware if we said something wrong, and that He will show us when to correct it and how to correct it. This is the beginning of the month, but we start off by knowing and learning that we have a challenge, that we need to be aware that taming the tongue, or the tongue, it's difficult to tame it, but we need God's grace. We know it's difficult to be aware on what you say, we know that we need guidance and we need grace every day to know what to say at the right time when it's needed. Let our words, let people do not, let us be careful of aware of what we say, so that people don't use the words or use words that we have spoken against us. But whatever we speak, may it be the glory of God, to the glory of God, and not because of what I want. But let God help us in everything that we say, so that He may be glorified.